We are on our road trip, continuation to Las Vegas from Reno, and we are on the outskirts of Goldfield, Nevada. This town, also, like many Nevada towns, has some very rich history. This town, back in the day, when the gold rush was going on, was the highest populated town in the state of Nevada. I'm not exactly sure how many people were here. However, if somebody knows, please post it in the comments. This town was rich in gold, i.e. the name Goldfield. It has a large hotel which has been closed from what I can recall since the 70s. It's the Goldfield Hotel, which we'll get a look at. And they have a festival here every year, Goldfield Days, and there's actually a museum here off to the right. You see some old farm equipment, and here's kind of an interesting place here. This trading post is fairly new. I think they might have moved from just across the street from the Goldfield Hotel, which you can see on the right part of your screen here. There's a lot of stuff in this town, a lot of old cars. We're going to take a ride up this road here to take a peek. They have tried to preserve a lot of these old buildings. There's some buildings here that are built out of basically bottles and mud and whatever else they could find. This is sort of an interesting spot here. A lot of old vehicles, and seems like there's a little more being built here every time I come by. These are new. Nobody's in there yet. I'm not exactly sure when Goldfield Days are. However, I do think there's a billboard out here on the street we might see. As you can see, these roads, most of them are not paved, simply because I'm sure they don't have the tax base, A, to keep them up, but B, to pave them to begin with. Let's go back to the historic part of the town. This here is worth a second look at. This is an old block, which I'm not sure. Let's see what that sign says there, if we can read it. Sitting on the sidewalk is prohibited, is what that sign says above the door there. That's kind of a funny sign. I'm not sure what that was, if that was an old preserved building or if that's something that was new. Here is a building that looks to me as if it's new. I don't recall that ever being here unless they rebuilt something from the ground up. Now, to the left of it is the building I was talking about. And I think that's known as either the glass building or the bottle building. If you can see, that looks like it was poured with mortar, and those are bottles forming part of that wall. Back on the main street here, there is a radio station, I think, from what I remember, in this building here on the left. It says Goldfield Gift Shop. And on this main street, we're going to take a trip by the old Goldfield Hotel here and get out and peek inside. So bear with me while I get parked here. Take me a second to get out, but this is a hotel rich in history. 4 floors, and looks like it's maybe Looks like it's maybe been entered at some point by vandals, etc., because the front doors are boarded up, which I don't remember that. They used to be glass, so somebody in the last few years has broken them out. But this is part of this hotel that's been preserved that is definitely worth looking at. This original tile work where it says Goldfield Hotel, I have to believe that's probably part of the original decor. Unfortunately, these steps are deteriorating. We can take a peek inside. The windows are not real clean. However, we can see a piano here. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. There is a piano here on the left side. This may be open during the Goldfield days. May or may not be. See the old staircase there and what looks like the bar. We can actually see more than I thought. This did not have an elevator originally, and there is an elevator shaft that was built far after this place had met its demise, and it's in the back, and you can see it because it's new construction, 8816 blocks. We'll see if we can get around the back from here. If not, we'll try the other side. Here is the Beatty days. Well, that's Beatty days. We need Goldfield days. All right, that's advertising Beatty, which is going to be our next stop. It's not much junk inside the building, as you can see. More boards. Now, this building here is not part of it. This has power to it. We'll go around the back and see if we can notice anything different. Now, this is a building that's on the historical registry. Kind of an interesting piece of history. They have buildings like this all over Nevada. As you can see, this is number 13. And I'm sure that this Goldfield Hotel has got to be on the historic registry. I didn't see a placard, but we're going to go around the front of it and see. We'll see if anything else interests us in this, through these windows here. To me, it just looks empty. Nothing much to look at except private property signs, which I'm glad the glass is all intact. It gives us a little bit of a view to peek through. That glass with that hotel etching on there, same with the one here, it may be quite old. However, I'm a little surprised it doesn't say Goldfield above it. Now, interesting enough, these steps are newer construction. They don't really match the decor of the rest of this building. And as you can see how long that no trespassing sign has been there. It's been boarded up for a while. More empty rooms. This is the front corner of the building here. And looks relatively clean. I do have a feeling they might use some of this during these Goldfield days. Little view of what's across the street. This was all abandoned. That was a small casino there on the corner way back in the day. However, now they've got a railroad museum And they do have a radio station. I can hear it playing. Goldfield 89.1 FM. A little more through the windows on the side here. Looks like some steps up into the next room here. I do remember all these door casings in trim. I have a funny feeling that might have been from the upstairs rooms. I looked in here 15-20 years ago and all this stuff was strewn about the first floors, so that may be original trim that they are saving in case they do at one point are able to restore this hotel. Now here is what looks like an elevator shaft. However, it goes nowhere because there's no planks or no walkways to the hotel. So that elevator shaft was never completed. It would, of course, connect, and you can see the back side of the hotel where it would connect to, but never completed. And of course, this is new construction here. This building in the back, with the 8816 blocks. And I would have to say that that air conditioning heating building is probably newer than this building. As you can see, the first couple of floors were built with large rock, and then you see brickwork covering the rest of it. I'm not sure if we'll be able to see in this sun, but it has a lot of the original architecture on this building, which is nice to see. One day they may be able to open it to the public, but with codes and restrictions, it's hard to say. Well, this is Goldfield, Nevada, people. If you've never been here, I recommend you Google Goldfield Days. I think it's in the summer, which would make sense as it does get very cold here in the winter, and pay it a visit. Here appears to be the basement area. Possibly this was where they took deliveries. There's a stairway here that's boarded up, and looks to be original and in bad shape, but whenever this place was built, possibly the 20s or 30s, it has stood the test of time well. This is on the corner of Columbia Street and 95 South, or 95 alternate, heading south. This is the building across the street here, and we're going to pull back out on the highway now. But we're glad you watched. Share it, like it. Little piece of Nevada history. If somebody can add to this, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that search for Goldfield, Nevada, please put it in the comments below. It will help us all, and we certainly enjoy these old buildings. Our next stop should be Beatty, Nevada, which is, I believe, about 90 miles south of here. So stay tuned for more on our road trip, and we will see you on the flip side. Thanks for watching.